So Bridget is walking through. You can sort of see what the plants look like here. They're up against these plate glass windows. And then you can walk across the deck over here to the hot tub. This is kind of the party area back here. And so what I have for plants here against the house, as you can see, a bunch of different plants. Rose, I think. I'm not quite sure what all these plants are. A lot of times they grow to the picture windows and I have to kind of cut them back. Over here is a beautiful, I think that's a spruce tree that goes up quite a bit. And underneath, got some shade-loving plants. And then this little walkway which needs some more gravel or whatever. Here, I've had grass and it's been very unhealthy, so I just put down some lawn mix, which has compost and sand in it, and reseeded, and hopeful that it will grow better. And I've also trimmed back some of these plantings here to give it more light. And then this is actually really cool. It's a blueberry bush, which gives us a lot of blueberries. Up above, there's an arbor, which has, I believe, grapes on it, and then some kind of flowers. I'm not quite sure what to do with it. I cut it back, and a friend of mine told me I did it all wrong. That I shouldn't have just cut the sides, but actually you have to pull off all the dead stuff in the spring. Just leave the newest root. And she said it will grow fast and it will drape over, and that's what it's supposed to do next spring. So going back through here, oh, and then there was a plant here that died. So maybe I can put some kind of kitchen plant, like a dill or something I can use for spices. And there's that space there. I'm not sure whether it's worth trying to plant anything there. And over here there's some kind of flowering plant, I guess. And then there's these plants against the house. One thing I'm really concerned about is there is sometimes an issue when there's a lot of water or drainage, so I want to make sure I have plants that suck up water against the house. This area used to be a weed patch. I planted grass in here. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with it. I was thinking about maybe having some kind of raised beds for vegetables at some point. This is the north side. So when you look this way, you're looking to the south, and this is where you're going to get most of the sun on a sunny day. And then over here, you can see there are various, I'm not quite sure what these plants are, but they have a nice smell to them. Smell like chocolate, kind of. And there's some plants over there. And behind the shed, I put a tarp down to kill everything here. And I'm just planning on mulching this area. And this is going to be like, this is very shady. This is a little spot for the kids to hang out. I got some lawn furniture for them to sit in back here. They can make their own little hideaway spot back here. Now getting back to approaching from the other side, you could see this is the other way to get into the kids' area. And I think that a lot of this stuff has gotten really overgrown. And I'm not quite sure what to do with it and how to trim it and whether to take anything out or plant anything new. I tried to trim it back somewhat. But if you come back in here, go over there, Bridget. Look at the camera, Bridge. See, so this is the little, Bridget's my model. This is the little kids area back here, little hideaway. It's really nice having these woods behind there. And I think at some point maybe there was a lot more trimmed, because there's this little wall here, which I think is, actually I think the wall might be right on the property line. And this, the rest going back is encroaching a little bit. So I could try to clean up this area a little bit more. And then there's that rose bush there. And you can see back there, there's a fence that's back behind the property line, which occasionally big deer will jump over and then have to chase them out of here. I could try to make that fence a little higher or something maybe. There's also a lot of brush back there. So then there's these trees, which did not look healthy. They had a lot of brown going all the way down. They were actually all the way down to the ground. And so I cut them because I was thinking maybe they were getting moss and fungus from being too close together. All the branches were touching each other and they were touching the ground. A friend of mine says I should just cut out the middle tree and see how the two on the side go. And another friend of mine said, now that I have this open area, I should probably try to plant something in there. Again, if you're standing over here, kind of where my model Bridget is, with her broken arm, which is why you only see one arm, you're going to look up here, and this is the sun is going to come down as it sets in the west over here. It'll come down and hit this area. I don't know what this is, but this is a beautiful thing with flowers. I like ferns. Those are nice. That's another one of those trees. And by the way, here's close up looking at this. And you can see it's got green on the outside and it's turned brown. Looks like it's dead. I did find a thing that identified it as Japonica something or other, Japanese spruce. And it said it actually is supposed to turn brown in the fall and shed its needles. But I don't know whether this is normal needle shedding or dying or what's going on with it. And then, oh yeah, there's a tree back there. I don't even know what that tree's all about. And then another fern and some kind of ivy thing flying over here. And then this I planted, and I think, oh good, now I've forgotten. I think Rachel saw it and she said it was a lilac. She had left it in a bucket and it had been sitting around for a year and a half, and then I finally put it in the ground here. I think it gets a reasonable amount of light. It's actually grown quite a bit. It's about twice as high as when I put it in the ground. And then this area, I'm just trying to repair the lawn. I actually reseeded this whole area here and it came back great, but right next to the fence where there's a lot of shade, not doing as well. Also, there are drainage issues, a lot of clay in the soil, so I put down more of the composted stuff. And just in case Bridget wants to point something out, the soil. Well, that's the compost that I put on top of the clay. Yeah. And then this is the fence, and actually the fence, I believe we encroach like about half a foot on the property line. So we're actually encroaching all over the place. I try to keep vegetation clear, but you can kind of see what's going on here. And basically, going up in that direction, which is west, what you have here is there's a path through the woods back there, and that path goes over a sewer line. So this is actually either owned by the city or it's an easement, which means that I don't think this area is ever going to get developed, which is good. But as you go down that way, the property starts getting owned by some big company in the Midwest, I think owns it when I looked on the zoning maps. So it's possible somebody will cut down all these trees and put in a development. I hope not. Anyway, look at my little model down there. All right, so that's a tour of Steve's property. Here we are looking back up at the house on this fence. I'm hoping I can get some advice from some seasoned gardeners. And even better, come and visit and take a look around yourself. And we can go to the garden shop and maybe you can show me what to do. All right, love you. Bye-bye.